I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
One of the oldest mysteries and conspiracy in the music industry is the death, or rather, faked death of Tupac Shakur. The many claims and disturbing footage of him still alive going viral on the internet doesn't help in putting people's minds at ease. That brings me to my million-dollar question. Is Tupac still alive? Where is Tupac? It was the night of September 7th, 1996, when the world was shocked by the tragic events that unfolded in Las Vegas. Tupac Shakur, the iconic rapper and actor, was attending the highly anticipated boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon at the MGM Grand Hotel. After the fight, they got involved in an altercation and decided to leave the MGM Grand and head back to the Luxor Hotel to change their attire. Tupac, accompanied by Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight, left the venue in a black BMW. As they were driving down the Las Vegas Strip, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them. In a matter of seconds, gunshots rang out, shattering the peaceful night. Tupac was struck multiple times in a hail of bullets, while Suge Knight managed to escape with minor injuries. The attack was swift and brutal, leaving Tupac gravely wounded. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors fought to save his life. For 6 agonizing days, the world held its breath, hoping for a miracle. But on September 13th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was pronounced dead. The news sent shockwaves throughout the music industry and left millions of fans mourning the loss of a true icon. At least this is the official narrative that the world was told. But now it seems the whispers are telling a different story. While the official story claims that Tupac Shakur died on that fateful night in 1996, there are those who believe that there is more to the story. Many believe that Tupac may have faked his death and gone into hiding. One of the key pieces of evidence cited by believers is the lack of a definitive autopsy photo. Despite the high-profile nature of Tupac's death, no official photograph of his body has ever been released to the public. This absence of visual proof has fueled speculation and raised questions about the authenticity of his demise. Another intriguing aspect is the alleged sightings of Tupac after his supposed death. People from all walks of life claim to have encountered the rapper in various locations around the world, from Cuba to Malaysia. These sightings have sparked curiosity and added fuel to the theory that Tupac orchestrated his own disappearance. One prominent theory suggests that Tupac sought refuge in Cuba, a country known for its lack of an extradition treaty with the United States. Supporters of this theory point to Tupac's connections to the Cuban government through his friendship with Elena Fernandez, the daughter of former Cuban leader Fidel Castro. Furthermore, there have been claims of posthumous releases of Tupac's music. These alleged new songs, supposedly recorded after his death, have raised eyebrows within the music industry. Supporters argue that the quality and style of these tracks are too similar to Tupac's previous work to be mere coincidences. In recent years, there have even been reports of a mysterious figure resembling Tupac attending events and interacting with fans. These sightings have reignited the belief that Tupac is still alive and actively involved in the music industry. While skeptics dismiss these claims as lookalikes or imposters, the persistence of these sightings cannot be easily dismissed. The case was never officially solved, leaving many to wonder who was truly responsible for the tragic end of Tupac Shakur. The lack of closure and the lingering doubts surrounding the investigation led to the emergence of various conspiracy theories, suggesting that Tupac's death may not have been as straightforward as it seemed. However, the story doesn't end there. Suge Knight, who was with Tupac on the night of the shooting, has made statements suggesting that Tupac may still be alive. In interviews, Suge Knight claimed that Tupac was doing well the last time he saw him, laughing and joking. These statements have fueled speculation and added to the mystery surrounding Tupac's fate. In 2018, Suge Knight's son took to Instagram, making bold claims that Tupac was still alive and living in Malaysia. He even posted screenshots of text exchanges where someone threatened him for leaking information about Tupac. While some dismissed these claims as a publicity stunt, others believe that Suge Knight's son may have insider knowledge about what really happened to Tupac. It's not just Suge Knight and his son who believe that Tupac may still be alive. In 2010, rapper Treach, a close friend of Tupac's, was interviewed before a show. When asked about Tupac's death, Treach casually mentioned that the last time he saw Tupac, he was in Cuba. This statement sparked widespread speculation, especially considering that Tupac's aunt, Assata Shakur, has been living in Cuba since 1984 after being convicted of murder in the U.S. In 2018, a website called Reporters posted a photo allegedly showing Tupac partying with Rihanna in Cuba. While some skeptics claim that the picture is fake, many fans fans passionately believe that it is genuine. The Cuba theory gained further traction when Kendrick Lamar referenced it in his album Damn. In the track Element, Kendrick raps, "Mr. 1 through 5, that's the only logic. Fake my death, go to Cuba, that's the only option." Even Eminem mentions Tupac moving to Cuba in the D12 track Freestyle. Videos have also surfaced, allegedly showing Tupac in Cuba. One video, shot in a parking lot, captures a group of individuals, with one person believed to be Tupac. However, the video quality is blurry, making it difficult to definitively identify the individuals. Another video, allegedly shot in 2004, shows Suge Knight engaged in conversation with a person who bears a striking resemblance to Tupac. Unfortunately, the footage only shows the person from behind, leaving room for doubt. Suge Knight himself has raised suspicions about the circumstances surrounding Tupac's death. In 2012, during a radio show appearance, he suggested that Tupac might not be dead, stating, "Maybe the question is Tupac really dead? He's somewhere else." According to Suge Knight, nobody ever saw Tupac's body, and the person responsible for cremating Tupac disappeared after receiving a substantial sum of money. Another intriguing detail that adds to the speculation is the official coroner report. Allegedly, the report listed Tupac's weight at 215 pounds. However, those who knew Tupac describe him as a slim individual, standing at only 5 feet and 9 inches tall. It is widely believed that Tupac's actual weight was around 160 pounds. The discrepancy in the coroner report raises questions about the accuracy of the information and adds to the mystery surrounding Tupac's death. Another theory that has gained significant attention suggests that Tupac escaped from Las Vegas in a helicopter. Rick Boss, a filmmaker working on a movie about Tupac's escape, claims that Tupac knew someone would try to take his life. To fake his death, Tupac allegedly used a body double, allowing him to slip away unnoticed. According to Boss, Tupac escaped from the University Medical Center in Las Vegas and relocated to New Mexico, seeking protection from the Navajo tribe. While this theory may sound far-fetched, it adds another layer of intrigue to the already complex story. Boss's movie aims to shed light on the alleged escape and the events that followed. Whether this theory holds any truth remains a subject of debate, but it certainly captivates the imagination of those who believe that Tupac may still be alive. The 7-Day Theory, released under the name Machiavelli, Tupac seemed to foreshadow his own demise. In the track I Ain't Hard to Find, Tupac raps, "I heard rumors I died, murdered in cold blood, dramatized pictures of me in my final state. You know mama cried, but that was fiction. Some coward got the story twisted." These lyrics suggest that Tupac was aware of the rumors surrounding his death and wanted to set the record straight. He implies that the reports of his demise were exaggerated or fabricated. Furthermore, in the outro of the album's track Better Days, Tupac repeatedly utters the line, "Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, I'm coming." These words fuel the belief that Tupac may have planned his own resurrection, leaving his fans with a cryptic message to anticipate his return. Suge Knight has once again opened doors to more questions about the death of Tupac. It all started with a series of enigmatic tweets that sent shockwaves through the music industry and captivated fans worldwide. One tweet, allegedly from Suge Knight, caught everyone's attention. It read, "The cryptic message left many wondering if Suge Knight was hinting at the truth behind Tupac's alleged demise." Just a few days prior, another tweet from an unknown source added fuel to the fire. It stated, "I've been quiet for too long. First month of 2024, I'll be announcing what's going on with Tupac Shakur, aka Tupac." These tweets led to widespread speculation that Suge Knight might be revealing the shocking truth through various Twitter accounts. One of the key pieces of evidence that fuels the theory of Tupac's fake death is the quick cremation of his body. His body was cremated just one day after his fatal shooting. Many find it suspicious that there was such a rush to dispose of his remains, especially considering the ongoing investigation into his murder. This has led some to believe that the cremation was part of an elaborate plan to ensure that Tupac would never resurface. Another intriguing aspect is the lack of concrete evidence surrounding Tupac's death. Despite being a high-profile case, there are no official autopsy, photos, or video footage of his body. This has raised eyebrows and fueled speculation that the authorities may be hiding something. However, it is essential to understand that these procedures are not uncommon in cases of violent deaths. The urgency to conduct an autopsy and the decision to cremate can be influenced by various factors, including legal requirements and the wishes of the deceased's family. The decision to cremate can be a personal choice made by the family, especially when they desire privacy during the grieving process. These procedures do not necessarily indicate a cover-up. cover-up or conspiracy. The overwhelming evidence suggests that Tupac Shakur tragically lost his life in the 1996 shooting. The lack of a public funeral or memorial can be attributed to various factors, including the family's desire for privacy and the circumstances surrounding his death. If the theory that Tupac Shakur is alive and well is true, I believe the next question that should accompany that information is, why would Tupac Shakur fake his death? I cannot deny the fact that Tupac had a fascination with the concept of faking one's death. In his music, he often explored themes of mortality and the desire for a fresh start. Some argue that this fascination may have influenced his decision to stage his own death, allowing him to escape the pressures of fame and start a new life away from the public eye. Tupac was also a complex and enigmatic figure. He was known for his rebellious nature and his desire to challenge the status quo. It's not entirely implausible to think that he may have orchestrated his own death as a way to escape the constant scrutiny and danger that came with his fame. Furthermore, the theory suggests that Tupac may have wanted to escape the constant threats to his life. As a prominent figure in the rap industry, he had made many enemies, and his life was constantly in danger. By faking his death, Tupac could have effectively disappeared from the radar, leaving his enemies to believe that he was no longer a threat. Someone who people think might be in the know of Tupac's fake death is Jada Pinkett. Could it be that his disappearance has something to do with her? Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac Shakur's story begins in the 1980s when they both attended Maryland's Baltimore School for the Arts. It was here that their paths first crossed, and a deep friendship quickly blossomed. Both Jada and Tupac were incredibly talented and passionate about the arts, and they bonded over their shared dreams of making it big in the entertainment industry. As they navigated the ups and downs of high school life, Jada and Tupac formed an unbreakable bond. They laughed together, cried together, and shared countless memories that would shape their lives forever. Their friendship was a source of strength and inspiration, pushing them to strive for greatness in everything they did. In 1995, Jada Pinkett Smith's life took a new turn when she started dating actor Will Smith. While she was excited about her budding romance, she couldn't help but worry about how Tupac Shakur, her dear friend, would react. She knew that Tupac had a strong personality and was fiercely protective of those he cared about. Jada's concerns stemmed from a place of love and loyalty. She didn't want her new relationship to strain her friendship with Tupac, but she also didn't want to hide her happiness. So she made a heartfelt request to Tupac, asking him not to attack Will Smith or cause any problems between them. However, this request unintentionally offended Tupac. He was hurt that Jada would think he would resort to violence or create tension between them. Tupac had a deep love and respect for Jada, and he couldn't understand why she would doubt his intentions. The incident caused a temporary strain in their friendship. Tupac, feeling hurt, traveled to Los Angeles and expressed his frustration to Jada. He questioned why she would think he would act impulsively or be violent towards Will Smith. It was a difficult time for both of them as they navigated the complexities of their evolving relationships. Despite the initial hurt and misunderstanding, Tupac ultimately respected Jada's choice to be with Will Smith. He understood that Jada valued her relationship and that he couldn't come between them. Tupac was the kind of person who supported his friends no matter what, and he didn't want to jeopardize their bond. In 1996, Jada Pinkett received a call from Tupac Shakur. The tone in his voice was different, a mix of anger, sadness, and vulnerability. Little did Jada know that this conversation would be their last. Jada could sense something was off, and she knew that something wasn't right. As Tupac poured his heart out to her, he revealed his fears and regrets. He spoke of the struggles he faced in the music industry, the pressure to maintain his image, and the constant threat of violence that surrounded him. Tupac wore his heart on his sleeve. He was always so open and honest about his emotions. He trusted Jada with his deepest fears and insecurities. Tupac spoke about his own mortality, as if he knew his time was running out. He mentioned the dangers he faced and the enemies he had made along the way. It was as if he had a premonition of his tragic fate. Jada, overwhelmed by Tupac's words, tried to offer comfort and support. She reassured him that she would always be there for him, no matter what. But deep down, she couldn't shake off the feeling of helplessness. They said their goodbyes, not knowing that it would be the last time they would ever speak. Little did Jada know that just a few weeks later, Tupac would be fatally shot in Las Vegas, leaving the world in shock. Tupac's death. On the night of September 7, 1996, Tupac Shakur was in Las Vegas with Suge Knight, the head of his record label. The two were attending a highly anticipated boxing match featuring Mike Tyson. As the match came to an end, Tupac and Suge made their way to the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was there that one of Suge's associates, Trayvon Trey Lane, a member of the Mob Pirates gang from Compton, California, spotted a familiar face in the crowd. It was Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the rival Southside Compton Crips gang. Earlier that year, in July 1996, Anderson and a group of Southside Crips had attempted to rob Lane in a Foot Locker store at the Lakewood Center Mall in Lakewood, California. The incident had left a bitter rivalry between the two gangs, and tensions were running high. Lane wasted no time in informing Tupac about Anderson's presence. Fueled by anger and a desire to defend his friend, Tupac confronted Anderson in the lobby of the MGM Grand. He asked him if he was from the South, referring to the Southside Compton Crips. Without hesitation, Tupac delivered a powerful punch to Anderson's face, sending him crashing to the ground. The commotion caught the attention of security, and the fight was quickly broken up. But the damage had been done. Shakur and Knight's entourage had joined in the assault, leaving Anderson battered and bruised. Little did they know that this altercation would have dire consequences. After the brawl, Tupac retreated to his hotel, the Luxor Las Vegas, where he confided in his girlfriend, Jada Jones. He revealed his involvement in the fight, breaking his promise to return to her after entering the MGM Grand. Despite the tension, Tupac and Suge decided to continue their night at Club 662, a venue owned by Knight, where Tupac was scheduled to perform at a charity concert. It was around 11 p.m. when Tupac and Suge Knight embarked on their journey to the club. Little did they know that danger lurked in the shadows. Tupac and Suge found themselves on Las Vegas Boulevard, cruising in their sleek BMW sedan. However, their night took an unexpected turn when they were pulled over by officers from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Bike Patrol. The reason? Their car stereo was playing too loudly, and they were missing license plates. The officers discovered the plates in the trunk of Knight's car and, after a brief interaction, released them without issuing any citations. Little did they know that this routine traffic stop would be a crucial moment in the events that would unfold later that night. Just a few minutes later, a Cadillac pulled up alongside Tupac and Suge Knight's car at the intersection of Flamingo Road and Koval Lane. In the backseat of the Cadillac sat an unidentified shooter. The window of the Cadillac rolled down, and a hail of gunshots erupted from a .40S and W Glock 22. The shooter, seated in the back seat, took aim at Tupac's BMW, firing 4 rounds. The bullets found their mark, striking Tupac 4 times. 2 bullets pierced his chest, one lodged in his arm, and another found its way into his thigh. The attack was swift and merciless, leaving Tupac gravely wounded. Amidst the chaos, Knight was hit in the head by fragments of the bullets. Despite his injuries and a flat tire on their vehicle, Knight managed to drive himself and Tupac for about a mile before being pulled over by the bike patrol once again. This time, they alerted paramedics through their radio, and both Tupac and Knight were rushed to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, where doctors fought to save his life. Despite their efforts, Tupac's condition remained critical. He was in immense pain and continued to struggle, attempting to get out of bed. Concerned for his safety, the doctors decided to induce a coma, hoping to prevent further harm. News of the shooting spread like wildfire, and members of Tupac's crew, known as the Outlaws, quickly arrived at the hospital to stand guard, fearing that the assailants might return to finish the job. The tension and uncertainty surrounding Tupac's fate gripped the nation. Days turned into weeks as Tupac remained in the critical care unit, fighting for his life. His mother, Afeni Shakur, and his girlfriend, Jada Jones, stood vigil by his side, praying for a miracle. It was during this time that Jada played Don McLean's haunting ballad, Vincent, on the CD player next to Tupac's bed. In a moment of profound connection, Tupac regained consciousness, his eyes filled with mucus and swollen, a testament to the battle he was fighting. In a sad twist of fate, on Friday, September 13th, 1996, tragedy struck once again. Tupac Shakur, the young and talented artist who had captivated the world with his music, allegedly succumbed to a heart attack. Reports indicated that his right lung had been removed prior to his passing. In the wake of Tupac Shakur's untimely death, the investigation into his murder took center stage. The Las Vegas police, led by Sergeant Kevin Manning, faced the daunting task of unraveling the web of events that led to that fateful night. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, it became clear that solving the case would be no easy feat. 1 year after the shooting, Sergeant Manning sat down with investigative reporter Kathy Scott from the Las Vegas Sun. In a candid interview, Manning admitted that the murder of Tupac Shakur may never be solved. The case had hit a standstill, with few new leads and witnesses who were reluctant to come forward. It seemed as though the truth would remain elusive, but amidst the frustration and setbacks, there were those who believed that the answers were within reach. Edi Amin, a collaborator of Tupac's and a member of the Outlaws, expressed his conviction that law enforcement knew what happened. In 2002, the Los Angeles Times published a groundbreaking 2-part story by Chuck Phillips titled Who Killed Tupac Shakur? Based on a year-long investigation, Phillips shed light on the events leading up to the shooting and the possible motives behind it. According to his report, the shooting was carried out by a Compton gang called the South Side Crips, as an act of revenge for a beating Tupac had inflicted on one of their members earlier that night. Orlando Anderson, the Crip whom Tupac had attacked, was identified as the shooter. Las Vegas police had briefly interviewed Anderson as a suspect, but he was killed in an unrelated gang shooting nearly 2 years later. Phillips's article also implicated East Coast rappers, including the notorious Big, Tupac's rival at the time, and several New York city criminals, suggesting a larger conspiracy at play. However, the article also raised questions about the Las Vegas police's handling of the investigation. It highlighted missteps, such as discounting the fight at the MGM Grand and failing to follow up with witnesses who could potentially identify the assailants. The investigation seemed to have hit a roadblock, leaving many to wonder if justice would ever be served. In 2011, an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, reported on FBI documents obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. These documents revealed an investigation into the Jewish Defense League for extorting protection money from Tupac and other rappers, as well as making death threats against them. The revelation added another layer of complexity to the case, suggesting that Tupac's murder may have been motivated by more than just gang rivalry. In 2017, Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records, made a shocking claim. He argued that he might have been the intended target of the attack that killed Tupac. Knight believed that the shooting was a staged coup to seize control of Death Row Records. His statement reignited speculation and added another twist to the already convoluted narrative surrounding Tupac's murder. Circling back to the notorious rapper Notorious Big, also known as Biggie Smalls. In 1994, Tupac was robbed inside a recording studio, sparking rumors that Biggie was behind the incident. 2 years later, on the night of Tupac's shooting, Biggie and his crew happened to be in the same studio. Although Biggie claimed it was a mere coincidence, suspicions arose, and many believed that he may have had some involvement in the events leading up to Tupac's death. In a recent development, the police made an arrest in connection to Tupac's passing after 27 long years. In a surprising turn of events, armored cars rolled into a quiet suburban street in Henderson, Nevada, last month as part of an investigation into the killing of Tupac Shakur. Police executed a search at the residence of Paula Clemens, the wife of 60-year-old Dwayne Davis, better known as gang leader and former high-profile Los Angeles drug dealer Keith D. This raid has reignited public interest in the case and raised expectations that new evidence may finally come to light. The Las Vegas police, who initially fumbled the investigation, appear to be making a renewed effort to uncover the truth. After 27 years, the idea that we may be on the brink of finally discovering the answer to one of the most infamous killings in U.S. history is tantalizing. The hope is that this recent raid and investigation will shed new light on the events surrounding Tupac's murder and potentially lead to the identification and prosecution of those responsible. While the details of the recent raid remain undisclosed, it is believed that the police are following up on leads and gathering evidence that could finally bring justice to Tupac and his family. The house belonging to Paula Clemens, the wife of Keith D., has become a focal point of the investigation. It is unclear what specific evidence the police are searching for, but the fact that they are executing a search warrant suggests that they may have obtained new information or leads that could be crucial to solving the case. However, it is important to approach these recent developments with caution. Over the years, there have been many false leads, unreliable witnesses, and conflicting testimonies that have clouded the investigation. It is crucial for the police to carefully evaluate and corroborate any new evidence that emerges to ensure its credibility and reliability. The road to solving Tupac's murder is still paved with challenges and obstacles. The case is complex, with a web of rivalries, conspiracies, and potential motives. Still, fans are curious as to why this is happening now. Why was Keffi D only apprehended now after all these years? Could there be more to the story than what has been revealed so far? The truth still remains that Tupac Shakur is a name that echoes through the annals of music history, and that may remain for a long, long time. He is still one of the most influential and iconic figures in the world of hip-hop. Tupac Shakur, born on June 16, 1971, in East Harlem, New York City, began honing his skills in Baltimore, Maryland, where he moved with his family in the late 1980s. It was there that he joined the rap group Digital Underground as a backup dancer and rapper. His charisma and lyrical prowess quickly caught the attention of the music industry. In 1991, Tupac released his debut solo album, Tupacalypse Now. The album was a raw and unapologetic portrayal of the harsh realities of life in the inner city, tackling issues such as police brutality, racial inequality, and poverty. It was met with both critical acclaim and controversy. Some praised Tupac for his unfiltered honesty and thought-provoking lyrics, while others criticized him for for what they perceived as glorification of violence and misogyny. As Tupac's fame grew, so did the controversies surrounding him. In 1993, he was charged with sexual assault after a woman accused him of attacking her in a hotel room. The trial was highly publicized and deeply divided public opinion. Tupac maintained his innocence throughout the proceedings, claiming that he was being targeted because of his outspokenness and his status as a prominent African-American artist. Despite the legal troubles, Tupac's career continued to soar. He released his second album in 1993, which featured the hit singles Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around. The album showcased Tupac's versatility as an artist, blending introspective and socially conscious tracks with more lighthearted and party-oriented songs. In 1995, Tupac's life took a dramatic turn. On the night of November 30th, he was shot multiple times during a robbery outside a recording studio in New York City. The incident left him hospitalized and fueled rumors of a rivalry between the East Coast and West Coast hip-hop scenes. Many believe that the shooting was a result of the ongoing feud between Tupac and fellow rapper Christopher Wallace. Also known as the notorious Big Tupac's recovery from the shooting was nothing short of miraculous. Just months after the incident, he released his third studio album, Me Against the World, which debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. The album showcased Tupac's vulnerability and introspection, with tracks like Dear Mama and So Many Tears resonating deeply with listeners. But the controversies continued to follow Tupac. In 1995, he was sentenced to prison for sexual assault, a conviction that many of his supporters believed to be unjust. While behind bars, Tupac's influence only grew stronger. His fourth studio album, All Eyes on Me, was released in 1996 and became an instant classic. It was the first double-disc album in hip-hop history and featured iconic tracks like California Love and How Do You Want It. The question regarding Tupac's status, dead or alive, is one that won't be answered for a while. Maybe the recent arrest would answer some questions soon. Click on the videos showing on your screen to watch similar content.